Hello everyone, this is my third video installment of just talking about my esophageal cancer, my feelings, emotions, and just going to give an update about my endoscopy ultrasound I had yesterday. Again, like the other videos I did, this video will be unedited. And I think that's important. So, like I said before, bear with me if I stumble on words or stutter or whatnot. I know I'm not a wordsmith or anything, so just bear with me. And I just want it to be real and unedited. So, first off, I'll start by, again, thank you everybody for your prayers. I mean, it's meant so much to me and my family. I mean, it's literally, you can feel the prayers coming in, and it really makes a big difference, and gives you that positive attitude that I think you need when you're fighting something like this, and it's really appreciated. And thank you so much for sharing prayers, reaching out. Some people have called me, sent message on Messenger, whatever it may be. That's huge, and really thank you for that. And speaking of thank you, for those that are praying, of course, make sure you thank God too for answering the prayers that he has up to this point, because that's important. I think about a Bible story in Luke 17, 11 through 19, where Jesus heals 10 lepers, and like one of them comes back to thank him for healing him, and he goes, "Wasn't there 10 of you? Where's the other 9?" And I find myself too where I got to be careful. I mean, I had my procedure yesterday, and I'm calling my family and letting them know the findings, and then it dawned on me, it's like, well, I haven't even thanked God yet. I was sure praying beforehand before my procedure, and so I made sure right then, I thank God for what he did. So at the end of this video, please watch it all the way through. I'm gonna talk a little bit about the signs and symptoms of esophageal cancer, and just kind of go over some of that. So in case anybody out there is having some symptoms or issues, the earlier you catch this disease, the better you are. So anyway, so yesterday I did a endoscopy ultrasound where they go in and they wanted to check my lymph nodes. They wanted to check the cancer itself to see the growth level of it. The good news is the lymph nodes, from what he saw, didn't look like any of them were affected, which is a pretty big deal, because when your lymph nodes get affected, that's when it spreads to the rest of your body in that, and that's not a good thing for sure. On another note, the tumor itself was a little bit deeper into the esophagus than he first thought. He was just going by stuff he read for my original endoscopy when I was in Vancouver, and he said that it went a little bit deeper than what he was expecting. But in saying that, he believes, basically I have two options at this time, and one of them is where they just do surgery. It's called a esophagectomy, where they take part or all of your esophagus out, and then they kind of replace it with other, or usually, like, I think part of your stomach they use, and it's kind of messes you up for a little while, it sounds like. And that's one of the options. And then there's another option for early stage cancer, is it's kind of the new and upcoming thing, or I guess not really new, but it's got a good success rate. It's called ESD, which is esophageal submucosal dissection. And what that is they go to the tumor, and if it's not too far in the esophagus, they cut out the tumor and try to get just enough where they're getting into the good tissue and take all the cancer out, and then they test afterwards to see if it's all good tissue that's left, then that's a successful procedure. And the results as far as survivability are great with that procedure. And the doctor says, even though he can't 100% guarantee it, he still thinks that's the route to go. He says he wouldn't try it if he didn't think that it would work. So I have a choice, and I think I talked over to my family and prayed about it, and I think that's the procedure we're going to do, and that'll be August 24th. So pray for me on that. As far as my feelings at this time, about fear or emotions, whatever, still, emotional at times. It's a very emotional thing to talk about. As far as fear goes, like I said in an earlier video, right now I'm not scared. There's times where we can allow our mind to go there, and then I catch myself when my mind starts straying in that direction. And so, quite honestly, it's kind of funny it seems like I've been more nervous and have anxiety about the procedures themselves rather than the cancer I'm dealing with. So I'm praying for that too. It's like, hey God, I'm in your hands, and trust you on this. So okay, I want to end this video by just talking about esophageal cancer symptoms and stuff like that. Basically, you have two kinds of esophageal cancer, is what I'm learning. And let me start off by saying I'm not a doctor, so this is only my opinion. This isn't medical advice. I'm not a doctor, never played a doctor on TV, never played doctor when I was a kid, and never even dressed up like a doctor for Halloween. So this is just my opinion. So, if you have any issues, talk to your doctor, of course, directly. But anyways, the thing about esophageal cancer, and the reason why the mortality rate is pretty high, is because it's caught at such a late stage usually, where there really isn't any symptoms. But in advanced stages, or if in early stages, some of the things that you can look out for is excessive heartburn, problem swallowing, because the tumor kind of blocks your esophagus a little bit, chest pain, that's kind of one of my symptoms I had chest pain, where literally I had to do a treadmill test because I thought that maybe I was having heart problems, and come to find out the pain from the esophagus issues differs out all the way through your chest and into your back. If you're like coughing up any blood, your stools are black, any of that, can be a symptom. But with me, and this is where you can catch this early on, is I've had a lifetime bout of heartburn really bad. I mean, like waking up in the middle of the night, acid, coughing up acid, and just years and years of all that acid reflux is what caused my cancer. There's, like I said, two different types. One of them is from like excessive alcohol or smoking, which is usually the upper esophagus, and that's a different kind of cancer than what I have. Or like mine's I've had heartburn for so long, it's changed the cells within my esophagus, and it's basically your stomach has a lining that protects it from the acid. Well, when a lot of that acid gets up in your esophagus, it changes the cells and starts putting a lining in your esophagus, which can be like a precancerous situation. It's called Barrett's esophagus. And 3 years ago, I was detected with Barrett's esophagus. And that's how mine was caught early, is because once you find that out, every 3 years they want to do a endoscopy on you just to make sure, it's not, the cells aren't changing. And in my case, it changed right into the cancer. So that early detection of me going in, because I was having such severe heartburn problems. So that's what I would tell to anybody out there. If you've had years or dealing with heartburn, go to a specialist, a gastroenterologist, and get that looked at. If you have a sore throat, you have a lot of acid all the time, you wake up in the middle of the night, and there's stuff you can do. I was taking like all kinds of medication, had Tums in the bed next to me, elevate your bed and all that, but don't mess around with it. I mean, if you're having acid and stomach problems, go get it checked out. And on that note, they say when you're 50 years old, you should get a colonoscopy. And I know a lot of people I've talked to, I'm not going to do that. I've heard all the stories, and about the prep. And, to be honest with you, I had one after I was 50. And the prep that they give you is not, it's all funny and we all hear the stories and the jokes, but it's really not a laughing matter. It's not as bad as some of the stories you hear. I guess it used to be worse, but the prep that I did, it was, it wasn't terrible like you hear all the jokes and stories. But would you rather be discomforted for a few days or end up with, colon cancer? So, don't be afraid. Go get checked out. When you catch these cancers at an early stage, it makes a huge difference. And that's kind of what's going on with me. And, speaking of mine being caught early, I was staged. They have staging. It's called T. N as in November, M as in Mike. And the T stands for the size of the tumor. Mine's is a 1, which is the lowest it can be, so that's good. The N as in November is if any lymph nodes are infected and how many are infected. So if you had like 3, you'd be like the N would be like a 3. Well, mine's is a 0 because no lymph nodes are infected, so that's great. And then the M is if it's metastasized, which means, spread into other parts of your body, like maybe your liver or other organs. And I'm a 0 there too. So feeling optimistic, loving the prayers. I love you all out there. If anybody, is having any issues themselves, reach out to me. I'd like to pray for you, even if it's not, any kind of physical ailment. Sometimes you can be down because of other things, and I think all of us can be depressed at sometimes, but you don't need to be that way. People are out there that love you, they care about you, and you don't need to be alone. God loves you. God cares about you. And I'll end the video now, but that's my update. Go to the doctor and get yourselves looked at. If you're having any symptoms, don't put it off. Guys, I'm talking to a lot of you because I know I've talked to guys. Now, I'm not doing a colonoscopy. Really, the procedure's not as bad as you think it is. You sleep all the way through it. I remember the gal put the IV in me, and I asked her how long it would take to kick in, that I'd go out, and she's told me 10 seconds. So I'm counting to 10, and then I see her walk by, and I go, I thought you said it'd only take 10 seconds. And I go, oh, it's way past 10 seconds. She goes, sir, we're already done. You're in another room. So it's really not that bad. Yeah, the prep, they got to clean your system out. Even that's not that bad, and it's as what everybody says it is. Yeah, it's not fun, but it's not terrible. It's better than getting colon cancer. So take care of yourselves. Another way to take care of yourself, I'd like to say, is we always hear about diseases because of like smoking and drinking. Quite honestly, mine is because of my own, may not be from smoking and drinking, but I've let myself get overweight, which has caused a hiatal hernia. I eat the wrong foods, eating too close to bedtime. Ultimately what I'm saying is really I have no one to blame but myself. And now, I'm going to try to take care of myself a lot better. So tell those out there, you know, don't wait and get like me, you know, try to take care of your body. Your body sends messages and signals to you, you know, that something's wrong. Don't ignore them signals. Trust me, it's not worth it. All right, love you guys. Till next time, talk to you later.